All right, and just like that, we are right back into it. Head first and 100 miles an hour this morning with the Aired Out podcast. Happy Friday. Yes, Becky. Good morning, Francine and Jamie. Jamie, you're supposed to come on the podcast. Good morning, everyone. Happy freaking beginning of the weekend. TGIF. We got a lot to get to. We're going to be having some fun this morning. We're going to be giving you plenty of laughs. We're going to be talking about mysterious black balls. We're going to be talking about pumpkin spice, Peanut the squirrel. We're going to talk about moving past the elections. We're going to talk about Christmas before Thanksgiving. We're going to talk about the Starbucks holiday cups a little bit more this morning, and we're just going to go down any freaking road that we want to. You are always invited to, if you know my cell, call me. If you want to drop a comment, you can do that too. We just would love your interaction and get your weekend started with us. We're going to laugh. We're going to get serious. We're going to do the full gamut this morning. Fly on the Wall Productions, Facebook and YouTube, and streamed everywhere you get your podcasts, on the web at airedoutvt.com. Weather from NBC5, a blizzard in the Rockies that is moving to the central United States this morning. Meanwhile, right here in Vermont, 40s this morning, waking up, lower 50s later with sun and clouds and maybe some showers by the afternoon. Tonight, 32 and partly cloudy, and then weekend looks pretty good. Saturday, 43 and sunny. Tomorrow, sunny and 52, or partly sunny, I think is the deal on Sunday. National Cappuccino Day and National Parents as Teachers Day today. So a shout out to all of the parents out there that are homeschooling their kids. God bless every single one of you. That is not an easy job, and some take it very, very seriously, as they should, and it is a lot of work. Birthdays today: Gary Munson, Patrick Doyle, Justin Powers, Katie Moulton, and Nikia Messier. Facebook question of the day. I'm going to jump right into it. You can post up your comments, please. Would love to see it. The Australian Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, just announced legislation yesterday to ban social media for children under the age of 16. This proposed law is going to be introduced to Parliament in the coming weeks and could require Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X to be nixed for kids under the age of 16. No exceptions for parental consent, by the way. That's important to note here for this law. What say you about that? Looking for all kinds of reaction, good, bad, in between, everything. The good points of it and the not so great points of it. Let's see. Daily Dose of Feel Good this morning. It's there's really two of them. First, I just want to say, and I think this is a daily dose of feel good because these people do such great things in our community. Nichols Haunted Grounds has just notified me this morning about twice as much food was donated for Pack the Pantry as last year. We're talking about around 200 pounds, which is amazing. I just want to start out by saying that this morning. By the way, the video from this year's Spook in Berlin is already up on YouTube under 2024 Nichols Haunted Grounds if you want to see it. The other one, and this one really got me this morning, this 14-year-old girl from Chicago, her name is Marcy, received an English assignment to write a letter to a service member, 36-year-old Gordon Ashley, who was serving in Saudi Arabia. They wrote back and forth for many years, and then it stopped. Well, now, here we are, 30 years later. Marcy found a bunch of the letters in a keepsake at her parents' house and started searching for Mr. Ashley online, and she found him. Here's the amazing thing. Maybe you've already read the story. I posted it up this morning on Aired Out. They both now live in Hendersonville, Nevada. 7 minutes apart from each other. So a really nice reunion. It was just so great to read that story this morning and get the day started with stuff like that. On the ice, Bruins beat the Flyers in overtime 4-3. Celtics and Nets will be playing tonight. Thursday Night Football last night. What a game. Ravens squeaked by 35-34 over the Bengals. NASCAR on Sunday. Green flag at 3 o'clock at Phoenix. Greg Forbes, also known as G, is with me this morning, sitting right across from me. Top of the morning to you, pal. How in the hell are you?
I am well. How are you?
Do we have you worked up yet this morning?
No.
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll
Bring
try.
it, bitch.
Well, so I see this morning, I wake up and I see the headline, scientists say the slime in your dishwasher could unlock a solution to global warming. Oh, my God, here we go.
Oh, my God, here we go.
I'm like, I got to
You have to pick the dumbest topic to start with.
God.
That's good, because I've been taking the slime and putting it in the dinner for everybody.
Yeah.
They're obviously everybody's doing well.
Well, so the solution, who would have thunk it, the solution to global warming? Right in our dishwasher this whole time. Why are we just figuring this out now?
Well, I don't know. We need to check with Dr. Fauci about that one.
Yes. I'm so glad to see you, buddy. It's been a while since you've been on the air here.
It has.
We have a lot of stuff going on in the news, and we national and Vermont news. And I'm just going to dump in, and you can cut me off and interrupt and give me your 5 cents anytime. Okay?
I would never cut you off.
Well, let's.
But let's talk about the question of the day.
All right.
Okay.
What's the question? Yeah, please go.
Your
there.
question of the day.
Yeah, please.
Is it appropriate or is it correct to take social media away from 16 and under children?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's a really slippery slope, because we're talking about censorship versus what's in the best interest of young minds that aren't fully developed yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can see both sides of the argument.
Sure.
The problem with social media lately is that it's all become very negative.
Yeah.
It's all become very drab. People say what they want to say, not thinking that there are other people out there, younger, that may misconstrue what they're saying.
Sure.
So I see the parents' point of view as, I don't want my kids reading some of this crap and forming an uneducated opinion based on one person's statement or a few people's statement.
Sure.
So I understand that, but I also understand the children's point of view of, hey, we want to be enlightened and educated also.
And right.
So
and they want to be connected to the friends.
And being connected to friends is fine. Unfortunately, they take that to the point that, perfect example.
Yeah.
Kids crossing the street. They don't even look to see if a car's coming because they're so busy looking at their phone.
We all see that.
Okay. And
I see it all the time.
It's frustrating because they sit down to dinner and they've got their phone in their lap.
Not a lot of
so
my
they're
house.
not having conversations with family. They're not sharing thoughts and ideas back and forth. And I used to tell my kids, phones away at dinner time.
Yeah, same deal at my
Not
house.
because I didn't want them connected to their friends, but because that was, dinner time is kind of, was.
Yeah, right.
Was once.
Sacred.
A place, where you and your children and your spouse,
Yeah.
or lack of spouse, whatever, got together and you talked about the day. How was school? What did you learn in
I
school
talk about
today?
this all the time
Right.
on there now.
And now kids find parents and adults and other people annoying and interfering with their quality time with their friends online. Okay. So positive is they spend more time getting proper information from proper sources. Negative, they hear a lot of bad or a lot of unfortunate things that are said by people who have anger opinions.
Sure.
That's what I call them.
Right.
So I think that it's a very controversial issue, but in my world, if I still had young children, there would be a certain amount of parental control and censorship because I know what's being said out there.
Well, Plus, I mean, AI and everything that's changing in our world and algorithms. I mean, you start clicking on stuff, and your phone is memorizing that. Of what? Who are you? What are you about? What are
And
your
everything
opinions?
you
And-
say, everything you post, and all the pictures you put on
Yeah.
is out there forever.
Yeah.
And kids don't, they say, I know, but they don't really grasp it, because there have been people that I've known that at 40, 50 years old, something that they did 5 or 7 years ago is coming to bite them in the ass.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, that was so long ago.
Right.
And unfortunately, what you did long ago does not go away.
Yeah.
So that's the old adage that when we were young kids, you didn't know what I did because it wasn't on social media, and you could
Right.
get away with a lot more shit. Now you do something, everyone knows.
Yeah.
You get a DUI, everyone knows.
Yeah.
And you're labeled and you're marked.
Sure, of
So
course.
so as a parent, you have to be careful
Yeah.
that your child doesn't walk into that situation.
That's right.
And 10 years, 20 years from now, go to get a really good job. The boss pulls up something the kid did 20 years ago, and then they don't get the job.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the problem with social media today, is too much is out there and not enough is filtered.
I hope we get some more comments and some more reaction about what they're doing.
And the other thing is, it's very important to understand as adults that if people who know us look up to us, or people who know us respect us for what we do and say, and then we share our thoughts and our opinions on the air or on social media as fact,
Yeah.
without saying, this is my opinion, I may be wrong or I may be right, but this is what I feel. If you don't say that, people who look at you, like you, for example, okay, as somebody that we all watch the podcast, we get a good chuckle, and we also get news and information. If you decide to give us an opinion that is so direct that those who respect you say that has to be true, it doesn't have to be true. It's your opinion.
Yeah.
So when you speak, and I notice a lot of times when you're on, you will say, in my opinion, but what do I know? Okay. Or you won't give a direct opinion because you know those opinions have weight. Okay. So be careful what you say to people, whether it be through news feeds or whether it be through social media, because people who like, love, and trust you believe what you're saying, and what you're saying isn't necessarily fact or true.
Do you know what you've done?
Right.
And I don't know if anyone knows this. You've called me out, where you have sent me text messages saying, "Hey, that's your opinion." Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's important because I get picked on for trying to be in the middle. Okay. Now we all know I'm Democratic. Okay. And we know a lot of people are Republicans, and that's great. But the most important thing to remember is you're allowed to be or think whatever you want.
Yeah.
But please have the respect to understand that push come to shove, we all have to work together.
Yeah.
We all have to get along. And before the election, everybody was like, oh, you're wrong, you're this, he's stupid, she's stupid, this and that. Let's call a spade a spade. Both parties running this time were not ideal choices. Period. Okay? Both were not ideal choices. And if Kamala had not run and Joe stayed in, again, both parties were not ideal choices.
Yeah.
But people, it's done.
Yeah.
People have spoken. It's done. Now, how do we work with that? Somebody messaged me this morning and said, I don't know how to deal with those people that are saying things.
Those people.
Right. And my answer was, those people are people with brains and thoughts and ideas. Okay? And they're entitled to them. And if you don't agree with Kamala, great. If you don't agree with Donald, great. That's fine. But what's done is done. And now, how do we take what's in front of us and work with that? And if you don't have a positive way to spin it and work with it, then shut the fuck up. Okay? Because the bottom line is what's done is done. And you bitching that, oh my God, she sucked. Or, oh my God, he's crazy. How is that going to help the nation and help the people? Because if they're fighting, we need to show the president and the other people that we are not going to that level. that we're going to respect your position as president, and we're going to do what we can in our little town to make everybody get along.
Well, I was trying to have that mindset before Tuesday, that no matter who is our next president, the sun is still going to come up the next day, and you're going to need to deal with it.
Right. And the thing is, were people disappointed? Absolutely.
But they would have been
either way.
Either way.
Either way. The good thing is, and I hate to say it this way, but the good thing is that Donald Trump won because at least we won't have another insurrection. If Donald Trump had not won, what would have happened?
We'll never know.
Exactly. And so you can look at positive and negatives on each side.
Yeah.
Do I like Donald Trump? I think he's crazy. Okay. I think he's insane. All right. And unfortunately, most of America doesn't feel that way. But that's just my opinion. It doesn't make him crazy, and it doesn't make him insane.
Do you think I'm crazy?
I think we all have our own spin on crazy. You are definitely beyond crazy.
Okay.
Okay. That's what makes us work.
Yeah.
But when I go out there and I see somebody that I don't agree with, I have two choices.
Yeah.
Turn and walk away, or address the person with respect. Okay? And if I address them with respect, their views are their views. It doesn't mean they're not a person, and it doesn't mean they're not good. It just means that we all have opinions, just like assholes. We all have them. Okay? So respect one another, and instead of saying comments like somebody just said the other day to me, well, we've dealt with the far left for 4 years, so it's our turn.
Yeah.
Our turn? It's always our turn as a group.
Oh.
Okay? There is no ours, yours. We're all people, and we're all trying to live in the same community, trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So get the fuck off the high horse, and let's just make the best of what we can and pray that we don't go to dictatorship and we don't have anarchy and everything else. And if we do, we'll find a way to fix it. That's what this country's about.
Stacy's telling me when to hit the ding.
Stacy, what are you trying to say? Hi, Stace.
Listen, we woke up this morning to, well, we heard yesterday another water main break
Yes.
here in the Granite City. And the city on their Facebook page posted this morning, crews worked overnight and have started to lay in new pipe for the repair. The low-pressure system will be restarted this morning after the repair is complete, and customers who lost water should have service back by this evening.
Will we stay in a boil?
Yeah, we got the boil water notice that's in effect system-wide. Don't forget to register with the city's new app, which is called Regroup, for timely messages from the city. You get this stuff straight to your phone. But there you go. 2 water main breaks in the course of 48 hours?
Yeah, and the really cool thing is, I was talking about how we need to work together as a community and protect each other and take care of each other no matter what your views are.
Right.
Okay. A perfect example are people that I don't necessarily agree with their opinions were posting about this water main break and letting people know. I didn't hear it on the news. I heard it through social media, through people who got the information and sent it out.
Yeah,
So as a community, that's what we do, is we look out for each other and we tell each other what's going on, so that if you don't see it on the news, you see it somewhere else.
Sure.
and you're enlightened.
Sure.
So that kind of is my point, that we all stick together, and you're entitled to your opinions, and I know your opinions are wrong and mine are right.
Yeah, of course.
But, I accept wrong opinions.
This morning, I think that there is a good number of people that are habitually flushing the toilet. Because I do it. I mean, if I'm standing there and it's just, when you're done, you're done.
God, there's TMI coming.
You just instinctually reach over and flush the toilet.
After or before you shake? You're debating whether to ding that or censor it.
I want to just be very transparent this morning, and I want to admit.
You don't shake.
I flushed this morning accidentally. The second that I flushed, I had a vision of one of our city workers down underneath the street going, "Oh, God, Jesus Christ, there it is again. Oh, God."
How'd that taste?
Sorry.
Oh, God, we're going there.
I don't know. I'm not a plumber. I don't know what happens when we have a broken line somewhere and you flush. That water's going. The second I hit the thing, I was like, "Oh, Jesus, no! Stop!"
Well, at least you were standing, so we know at least they only got wet. They didn't get dirty, too. Sorry, people, we digress.
A cybersecurity incident in Enfield, New Hampshire this morning. A town employee is on paid administrative leave for accidentally transferring a sizable amount of funds into a fraudulent account.
Accidentally. Oops. Here's $1 million.
Oh, my God. I didn't realize that I was trying to transfer all that money into my fraudulent fake account.
My personal account. Which
Let's
happens
see.
to be offshores.
WCAX this morning, Republicans discuss swing of power in the State House. There's a lot of activity. Can you imagine being in the State House right now?
Actually, I would love it. I would love it. I think the most important thing to do is to get people in there that are completely neutral to the bullshit. And as people in the State House talk their bullshit and their rhetoric, people on the sides calling them out. Wouldn't that be awesome? That all of a sudden you lean over and you go, "That's bullshit."
That's like they do it in England.
Yeah.
It's the parliament.
That's the best system. I love it because they call each other out, and you better have an answer or you look like an idiot.
Is that ultimate democracy right there?
No.
Okay.
I think we can have ultimate democracy. And you like the way I said past, present, and future?
Yeah.
Because in the past we've had it, okay? The problem is everybody is sticking to a word, and what's written on paper is the law. It's the word. Unfortunately, we as individuals evolve, and we change our views, and we grow, and we learn. And sometimes the word from 18 whatever is a little different then than it should be now. And those who don't have opinions stand behind the word. They throw the word out there. Well, it's in this law, it's in this rule, whatever. And nobody's taking a look and saying, this one might be a little outdated. You know, when you say that people can get married at 12 years old, that law is kind of outdated now, you know. So there's so many things that have changed and evolved. And to stick to specific rules without addressing them and talking about them and looking at them, that's not healthy.
Speaking of I got to be careful. I can't say this. I can't say.
Then don't say it.
I'm not going to say speaking of being outdated because it would be disrespectful. But what do you think about
But
But what do you think of the news this morning about more and more young women in the Middle East? And I just posted this up on Facebook just this morning that are taking off all their clothes and walking out of their home in just their underwear. Protesting. I mean,
I think that's extreme, but I think there's a point behind it. Okay, and the point being that people in the Middle East shouldn't be regulated to the point that they are, especially women. Okay, and women are getting tired. They're getting tired of being told, cover your face, cover your hair. You have to wear makeup. You must have nails. You have to dress this way. You have to, you know, this is where I go back to the same point as I made before of people are people. People have thoughts. People have ideas. People, and for a man to tell a woman what she can and can't do,
or
what they can do to their bodies is shameful. Okay, it's shameful. What I don't hear women telling men that they have to take the bulge out of their pants. Okay. Meantime, I see guys walking down the street with tight pants and this big bulge in the front, and they know it. Everybody sees it. Okay. But they're a guy, so it's okay. But if a woman wears a blouse that's a little cut too low, she's a slut.
Right.
Or a tramp, or she's asking for it. What is she asking for? She's asking to get violated because of the way she dresses?
I don't want to be judged. That's why I don't wear skinny jeans.
Well, there's a few reasons why you shouldn't wear skinny jeans.
Francine says, shit, I had an ex that told me what I can wear. That's why he's an ex.
Yeah.
There's another bell.
But that's true. And it's unfortunate because look at the women that have been imprisoned overseas and then died. Mm-hmm. And you're like, why did they die in prison? Mm-hmm. What did you do to them? Because what? They had a thought or an idea? And that's what's happening is people are retaliating and they're saying no more.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't want it. Do I think getting undressed into your underwear and going out in the street is I think that's a little excessive.
Yeah. But they're making a point.
So sometimes you have to get crazy to get rid of crazy.
Now we got Shirley fantasizing about me in skinny jeans.
Oh, Shirley.
Look what's going on?
Shirley, I've seen him without pants on. It's not pretty.
Have you ever seen me in my underwear?
Yes, I have. Yeah, when you slept over my house, passed off drunk on the floor years and years and years ago.
In other Vermont news this morning, a nursing assistant in Morrisville pleaded not guilty to charges that he sexually...
How many people want to hear about that, JD, on the floor? Go ahead, keep going,
that
JD.
He sexually abused a vulnerable adult. This guy is being held without bail this morning from Morrisville. That's going to be an interesting... I'm going to be following that story.
Yep.
We have a Vermont man and so sad, a Vermont man who is behind bars after he was arrested on a spate of charges related to a police chase in Berlin. The Berlin Police Department made contact with this 25-year-old Kyle Carpenter from Eden on Halloween when they tried to speak with 4 people outside of the Berlin Mall related to an active arrest warrant. Carpenter, who was behind the wheel of this vehicle, sped off after seeing police, allegedly drove more than 90 miles an hour on Route 62. That's right here.
Right here.
Running several traffic lights. Soon switched to driving the wrong way on 89 northbound, and police discontinued their pursuit due to safety concerns. 20 minutes later, he was spotted going southbound on 89 in excess of 100 miles per hour before he took the Williamstown exit and crashed into another vehicle and a tree. Thank God.
Tree okay?
Thank God that he crashed.
Yeah.
He was able to escape from police on foot, along with another person. Police were unsuccessful in locating the suspects despite using a drone and a police dog unit. They did, however, recover a loaded shotgun, drugs, and a dog that were inside of the abandoned vehicle. On Wednesday, members of the Vermont State Police and the Windsor County Sheriff's Department were able to arrest Carpenter during an investigation into a stolen vehicle. Shocker, it was stolen, G.
No way.
Lodged at Southern State Correctional Facility for 2 active arrest warrants and the October 31st incident, a combined $75,000 bail. He's due in court yesterday to answer more than a dozen charges, including eluding a police officer, leaving the scene of an accident, unlawful restraint, cruelty to an animal, and illegal weapons possession, among others. The investigation is ongoing. Hopefully he's not going to get smacked on the wrist like that other dude there in Burlington.
You know, I love when they say, when I don't know who it was, but there was somebody who had been arrested numerous times. It was recent. I saw it in the news. I don't remember the actual article completely. But they were arrested numerous times, brought in, then released on bail, blah, 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 back and forth so many times. And he was just arrested again, and his bail was posted again. It's like you got to get to the point where you say, people, let's not give him bail. Okay, let's lock him up.
Yeah.
Once and for all.
Patrick Ibbotson, the 38-year-old guy from Burlington.
Mm-hmm.
Burglary, trespassing, and like 20, 30 more incidents after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they post bail again. It's
How
like,
is that possible?
How? Okay. Meanwhile, people like you and I, we get pulled over for a ticket. We're in jail for some stupid reason, like we didn't pay a ticket, and we don't get bail. Shit.
There's this guy we were just talking about, up in Morrisville, working at the nursing home, who's they're doing an investigation about a possible sexual abuse to one of the residents up there in the he's being held without bail.
Yeah.
It
takes all kinds of people to make up this world.
Yeah.
And that's why the people that are educated, the people that have half a brain, they need to be the ones that are level. They need to have the level head. They need to not judge. They need to not make comments that hurt people, because there's enough people out there that are hurting each other. Okay, we need to take stock in ourselves, in our own life, and we need to try to be good for other people. Because that makes us feel good. Not for nothing. When I go out to the store and somebody says hello and I say hello and then we walk on, it makes us feel good because the person was nice, we were nice.
Yeah.
Now, when you say, how are you, and they go into their whole life story, it tends to make me put my hand up and say, please don't speak to me. Okay? And you know that joke, because you and I have dealt with that, okay?
What?
But at least I say, we've talked about it. Okay, at least I tell people, please don't speak to me. Okay, instead of being rude and disrespectful.
I can't do that.
I know, and people say to me, how can you do that? Well, wouldn't you rather know where I'm at than for me to fake it and be disrespectful?
Yeah.
Okay, if you're talking to me and I'm done talking and you keep going, I'll just say, you know what, I gotta go. Sorry.
You've done that to me.
I've done that to many people.
Your friends, even.
And it's not that I'm being mean. It's just,
You're being honest.
Yeah. I run out real quick and run back because my husband's sick and I got to get medicine for him. I don't really want to hear about you and your dog.
If you ever come across me in public and I say, I got to go, it's a different kind of a go.
Yeah.
It's a
bathroom. I know. But see, the thing is, you're really animated. So holding your crotch kind of tells people,
not good.
I got to go.
It's going to be an explosion here.
I never want to see that.
This morning, reading here this morning, this is crazy. I sound like a broken record. It all started when police in Colchester spotted a stolen car driving in the area of St. Michael's College. This happened in the middle of the night.
Right.
When the officer activated his lights, the car made a U-turn and went east toward Essex. This led to a pursuit, reached a maximum speed of 60 miles per hour through the areas of College Parkway, Fort Ethan Allen, and the Fannie Allen campus of UVM Medical Center. That's crazy.
Yeah.
The chase continued, ending on Pearl Street in Essex Junction when the driver attempted to pull into a parking lot of the Essex Junction Shopping Center. My God, I know right where that is. That's where the Grand Buffet is. You ever been there?
Yep.
Oh, my God. That's when they hit another car trying to leave, dealing significant damage to both vehicles. Driver was identified as 34-year-old Shauna Francis from Burlington. Both Francis and the driver of the car that she hit were brought to the hospital for life-threatening injuries.
Yeah.
The two passengers in the stolen vehicle were briefly detained and then released.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yo. I don't care if you weren't driving.
Yeah.
You were in the back seat of a stolen vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What were you doing there?
We're not releasing you.
No. You
You're
need a little more information before we let you go.
You're going to be camped out for a little while.
You know what's really funny? I'm sure you've seen this many times.
Why were they released? I'm sorry. Okay. I'm all right.
What's funny is you watch these chase scenes.
Yeah.
And there's like 5 cop cars chasing one, right?
Yeah.
And then that one car stops. Sure. And the 5 cop cars are right around, and the person gets out and runs. What? There has to come a point where you stop and go, you got me. You got me. But no, they get out and they run like they think they are the fastest people on earth and they're going to get away. And it is so funny to watch. It's like, and you see the cops' faces are like, don't run. Come on, you're going to make me run. And it's humorous.
Are you really going to make me
Yeah.
unclip the German Shepherd?
Right? I mean, come on, people. I just had a donut.
Yeah, but I just had a gummy, and I'm confident that I can
can
outrun a
outrun.
German Shepherd.
Yeah, people are interesting. There's no question about it.
My good buddy Joel Nashman, the WCAX Super Senior, he turns 80 on Sunday. He is such a great guy, and they're going to throw a huge party for him this weekend. And who's going to be spinning the tunes?
You.
Joel Nashman himself. He's just such a. I worked with him for years over at WDEV. He is one of the most intelligent guys I've ever known, and knows more about music than he's literally a walking encyclopedia. So happy birthday, Joel, and
80 years old.
congratulations on being the CAX Super Senior. Burlington, WCAX this morning. I'm seeing the headline right now. Here it is. It says, I'm quoting here, whether you celebrate or condemn the election outcomes on Tuesday, there's a lot of emotion wrapped up in the results. Experts say it's important to prioritize mental health. One town they're doing like a dance thing tonight where they're just saying, just come out and dance off your election stress. Decompress.
Yep. And that's what I really think.
Do whatever you got to do. Binge watch something.
Yes.
I said yesterday, go to the movie theater and enjoy a movie.
Right. And you know, that's funny because sometimes binge watching or getting lost in a show helps you to unwind.
Sure. I
I love politics. I follow politics. I follow the Republican and the Democratic Party, what they do. I follow the independents. I listen to different opinions and ideas. And I love political TV shows.
Yeah.
The shows that are not real but pull real situations into the show.
Yeah.
One of those shows that I've watched the whole series, and now years later I'm binge watching it again, is Madam Secretary.
Okay.
Love the show. It's amazing. There's a lot of political jargon in it, and I just enjoy it. And I put it on before the elections began, about a week before I started watching Madam Secretary.
Okay.
And I watched it because it kind of took my mind away from what was going on, all the rhetoric and all the anger that everybody was sharing, and people yelling and fighting with each other over something that the only way you can control it is to vote.
Yeah.
And once you vote, you've done your part and you can't do anything past that. And so now that the election is over and the thumbs went down on my side, okay, because I wanted Harris to win, because my attitude was choose the lesser of two evils. Other people may say Harris was the greater of two evils. But the way I dealt with the disappointment is that I'm now in season 3, and I'm just watching that show, and it helps me not focus on this stuff and just watch something that I know is not real, but they have real situations, and it makes me just feel a little bit better about what's going on.
Have you heard that books like The Handmaid's Tale and 1984 are flying off the shelves right now?
Really?
Since the presidential election.
Really? Well,
Interesting.
again, I think it's important for those who are strong on the Democratic Party to brush up and learn the platforms of the Republican Party. I used to be Republican, and there are platforms that they hold that I stand by and say, yes, I still agree with those things. And there are platforms that I don't agree with.
Yeah.
Okay? So I think before you turn around and judge, well, that sucks and this world's going to pot and all this stuff, learn all the different platforms and the aspects, because let's be honest, the left and the right both have ideas.
Yeah.
Okay, and the middle have ideas. And I don't think we're going to bring the far left to the middle, and I don't think we're going to bring the far right to the middle.
Sure.
But if you understand, okay, if you understand why somebody wants to be a teacher, you can then respect them as a teacher. If you don't understand the calling to be a teacher, then you judge them, and that's not necessarily correct.
Yeah.
So
well
I
said.
like to understand what is it about the left and what it is about the right that holds validity. And the things that don't hold validity, I let that go because I can't do anything about it as just one person.
Yeah.
But I can help other people to understand both sides and then make an educated opinion.
Right. Stacy says it's not about the next 4 years. It's all about the next 12 years.
Yeah.
You know what's amazing to me is when I woke up this morning, took a glance at the phone, and I'm like, you know what? The people in Ventura County, California, are not all worked up about the fucking elections right now. What they're worked up about is whether or not their home is going to burn down.
Yeah.
Over 20,000 acres have burned from this mountain fire.
Yeah.
0% is contained as of this minute.
Yeah. Well, on the news this morning, they showed a woman who they had just finished building their dream house exactly the way they wanted it. And the reporter was standing there with the woman, and she was pointing to the flat ground, all covered in smoke and soot, and saying, well, my living room was here, and we put a beautiful thing over here that's no longer here. And so when you look at the scope of things, you have to look at the immediate of what you can do to help when the floods happen,
Sure.
when there's fires, okay, when hurricanes and tornadoes come through. What can we do to help that situation?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that grandstand to sound like they care. And I just think that's nauseating. Oh, let's help the people here and Are you doing anything, though, or are you just talking? Okay, because so many people, oh, my God, I feel horrible, but, well, what did you do about it? Well, nothing. Really? You did nothing? There are people who talk, and there are people who act. I do a lot of talking, but my talking is to educate. It's to help people see different sides, because there's always two sides or three sides to a story, okay? And people always think that the one side is 100% right. And they always say in every story there's some truth. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been a story. You know what I'm saying? So you may be wrong, but there had to be some truth in it. And who am I to judge you when I'm not perfect? Although I am perfect, because nobody can be me. So I'm perfect at being me. Whether I'm an asshole or not, I'm still perfect at being me.
Here's the thing. I know that you and I are dancing all over the road this morning, but, you know...
Because we're trying not to insult or upset, okay? Because I can give you my opinions.
Yeah.
Okay? I can tell you what I think about the fact that the president-elect of the United States was voted in primarily by non-educated, non-college people that didn't do their homework and didn't do their research. I could say that. And then you'll get a bunch of people saying things on your screen saying, oh, he's all on one side and he's full of shit and this and that. The numbers don't lie. They talked about who did the voting and who voted for whom, what demographics and stuff. But you know what? The bottom line is, does that mean because they didn't go to college that they're not smart? No, there's a lot of people that never graduated high school and are pretty fucking smart. And it's not street smarts. It's intelligence. Okay?
Robin Williams.
Yeah. So just because you didn't go to college and you voted for Donald Trump, people go, oh, that's why he got in, because of those people who are not educated. No, that's not why. But the bottom line is, if you're not educated and you're not taught the correct things, then all you do is spew out bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, and let's be honest, a lot of bullshit gets spewed out.
Yeah.
And it's hard sometimes for those who are not in the loop to decipher what's true and what's not true.
Yeah.
So they pick a side and hope that they're right. And that's why I urge people to educate themselves on both sides.
And the media is all fucked up. I mean, the
media eats it up.
They're controlled by money and power.
They eat it up. You know, one of the shows I like to watch is The Daily Show. I watch that show because it's hysterical. And they say, oh, we deliver the news. They don't really they deliver it, but in a very humorous, make fun of way. And they're very one-sided. They are very Kamala Harris. They are very Democratic. They put down Trump and the Republicans like crazy and this and that. But I laugh because they make such a joke of it that it's funny. Okay, but unfortunately, there are people who are not educated enough or people who can't think for themselves, and they watch that and they're like, yeah, I agree with them. I'm a Democrat because I agree with them. People, they're fucking with you, okay?
Yeah,
they're joking around.
They don't know that.
And then they watch Fox News and people say, I hate Fox News, or Fox News gives the best. It's all opinion. You know, what happened to the day when the news was fact?
Yeah.
They had Connie Chung on one day, and
Walter Cronkite.
Walter Cronkite, Connie Chung,
Dan Rather.
These are people that really worked hard to keep their opinions the fuck out of it and just deliver the news. And when they were talking to Connie Chung, who is an icon, she's an icon. She's a woman. She's Asian. And she made a name for herself. She fought through all the rhetoric of men to get to where she is.
I forgot
and
about
they
her.
asked her, how do you feel about the news today? And she says, it's all sensationalized.
Yeah.
It's all opinions. She says, when do we get back to the days when we as anchor people were out there doing the research ourselves, interviewing people? We don't. Now we just sit there and we read what we're told and we shake our head and say, wow. She says, and that's not what we're here for. And the American public and everyone in the world is watching this and they're like, well, if they said it, it must be true. And it's not. So I missed the Dan Rathers and the Walter Cronkites that when they said something, it's here's how it is.
Yeah.
Sorry if you don't like it, it's a fact.
Yeah, right.
Now it's, oh, President Trump said such and such. Shame on him. I know, Bill. Can you imagine? No, he's got some. Shut the fuck up and just tell us the news.
Sure.
And stick to the topic.
Right.
You know, oh, Kamala should have done this and maybe she would have won. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. It's done.
Yeah.
Move on.
What do you think about the Food and Drug Administration coming out with the big news this morning that they are removing the primary ingredient in common over-the-counter cold medicines because they don't work?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to wait until Kennedy takes over the health care so that he can tell us the best way to get a worm in our brain or something. Okay, because the fact that he's going to now dictate to us taking fluoride out of the water because it's not good for you, you know. These are the things that we should concern ourselves about.
Yeah.
Is who is running what and for what benefit?
Yeah.
What's the benefit?
I wonder what no matter who won the presidency, I wonder how the next couple of years are gonna sift out with Big Pharma.
Yeah. And you know, it's funny. One of my friends messaged me the other day, right after the elections was over. I think it was the next morning. Or no, the following evening, they messaged me and said, are you okay, G? Because they know I'm very passionate about politics and stuff, and they know how I feel in general. And they said, you're not moving to Italy, are you? That's what they asked me. Are you moving to Italy?
Or
because
Canada.
I had made the comment that if this country goes in the direction that I think it's going to go, I need to leave, which is sad if you think about it, because I came to this country at 3 years old from Italy, okay? I'm a naturalized citizen. I'm one of the people over the border that probably, you know, is going to rape or kill somebody someday, you know? I mean, because I'm one of them. But they wanted to know, and my answer was really clear. And Jed was looking at me when I read the answer to him like, oh, fuck. Because my answer was, I'm going to give it 2 years. Okay, I'm going to give it 2 years to see the direction that this is going to go. And if it's going to go in a way that's going to harm me or harm my lifestyle or harm my family, then I'm going to do what I need to do to protect my family. Okay, now going to Italy, although I'd love to, is not necessarily the best idea because, well, their government's not that great either. Okay, and going to Canada isn't the greatest idea necessarily because their government is, we see all this wonderful stuff, but there's stuff behind it too.
Sure.
Okay.
Grass is never greener
The
on
grass
the other
is
side.
never greener. It's just a different style grass. Okay. But that's the problem is there's a lot of people that are so worried that they're like, should we leave? Should we not leave? What's going to happen? This and that. And then we hear that Kennedy is going to run the health. And I'm like, so then my follow-up answer was, unless Kennedy takes over the healthcare system, then I need to reevaluate again. You know, so it's kind of scary. And again, these are my opinions. It doesn't mean that I'm right, people. And it doesn't mean that I'm wrong. It means that I have valid concerns, no matter whether it was Trump or Kamala. I have valid concerns about the choices or the quality of people that we have or had running. That's my sadness, is the quality of people. Where are the old days, the presidents from the old days who had the balls to stand up and say something instead of, Donald Trump, all he did was talk hate. Okay? All he did was talk hate. And Kamala Harris, all she did was talk about love. Okay?
Joy.
You got to be happy. You got to be joyful. You got to love one another, this and that. Donald Trump, you got to hate them because they're trying to put me down and this and that. People, where is the politician that says, what's best for the country?
Reagan.
Because we're very diverse. And we have so many different kinds of people. Mm-hmm. We are the melting pot, okay? Where everybody goes to get ahead. And then what we do is we generalize and we put people in very specific situations, just like you and I have talked about. You don't like being put in a box, and you will not be put in a box.
Oh, my God.
And if you feel that you don't want to be put in a box, why are you putting other people in boxes?
Right.
Let people be people. If you're Spanish and you're coming here, you're going to go to jail just like a regular American's going to go to jail when you violate the law.
I'll tell... What do you and I both say to people who try to put me or you in a box?
I say do it. Try it.
Good luck.
Try it. Because when you put me in a box and you tape up all the corners, while you're doing that, I'm gnawing at the box with my teeth and I'm going to rip it out. Okay? Because you don't get to tell me who I am. And I'm not going to tell you who you are. But let's respect each other's differences, and that's what makes us get along. And you know what? The best things that ever been accomplished in life is between people that had differences and worked together to find a common goal. That's when things happened. But when I'm told that I'm an idiot or I'm stupid or well, you're no good or you're not productive. Come on, there are countries out there that won't let you move in unless you're productive.
Do you know, I have heard a couple of times from some people. I really want to name names here.
You don't. Because we're not like that.
Right here in our community who have said to me, well, JD, I think I think it's kind of known that you do lean a little bit to the right. And I say, how often do you listen to my podcast? Mm-hmm. Do you listen every day? Or do you just catch one show? Mm-hmm. Because if you do listen every day, and you hear the folks that I interview, and you hear the questions I ask them, and you hear the subjects that I talk about, you would know that depending on the subject, I can and have given an opinion that has leaned to the right, but very much to the left as well. And a good part of the time, I do tend to drive on the yellow line. I do go a little bit to the left and right. Sometimes I go hard to the right. Sometimes I go hard to the left.
And it depends on the topic. Will depend on which way you go. And being in your position, you need to find the center road.
Right.
A lot of times. But you are human. And if we don't get to know who you are, as a person, why would we want to watch your show?
Right.
So I respect the fact that you can go left, you can go right, but you prefer center. Because I like to try to stay center. But
Just
there are things that happen in this world
right.
that you gotta sometimes take a side. Okay, you have to. You can't be indecisive all your life.
Sure.
You need to be able to. And like I said, there are times that I take lefts all the time, and there are times I take right all the time.
Yes.
But there are times I go center, and I say, well, it is what it is.
Sure.
You know. But I respect the people all the way to the left,
Yeah.
because they have convictions and ideas, and I respect the right. And if the left and the right could just kind of get together and
Sure.
hash it out,
Here's
and don't be so stuck.
Sure. Here's what's amazing, and this is why. This is what just part of the reason why I adore you so much, and we've been friends for so long. You talk about people that try to put others in a box, whether it's me or whether it's you. Here's a guy sitting across from me who I've been friends with for so long, and the way that we met and how we became friends is a whole nother story, and it's fantastic. But here is a man who's, how old are you now?
61.
You're 61 years old. You're gay. You have a son. You have a son.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. Tells me that stop.
Mm-hmm.
You can't put this guy in a box.
Mm-hmm.
You have a son. You have a child. You have several children. But your son is an absolute badass warrior in the special forces.
Mm-hmm. He actually hasn't re-upped, so he's going to be done finally, which is for anybody who has a child in the military. When they get done and they come out and they got all their limbs and they still got their facilities intact, it's kind of a good feeling as a parent to say, oh my God, that part of his life is over. Okay? But the shit he's seen and done, and he hasn't told me a lot because he probably knows that I would be appalled. But he does what he has to do for his country. The shit that he done, that has ramifications to their psyche. Okay? It has ramifications. Anybody that was in the military doesn't leave unscathed. Things are left behind in their mind that they live with for the rest of their life. And you got to respect them for that. You got to... For these people who look at the vets and say, fuck them. No, fuck you. Okay? Because you get to drive down this poorly paved street on Main Street that everybody says, oh my God, they paved it. Don't get me started on that topic. Okay? You get to drive down those streets safe and healthy and happy because of those people who saw shit and lived in shit and did stuff that they're not necessarily proud of, but that they had to do. All right? So kudos to the vets, kudos to those who work with the vets, and kudos to anybody who respects them, because they're the ones, not Donald Trump, not Hillary Clinton, not Biden. They are the ones who are keeping this country safe. All right? Our president needs to back them, okay, and support them. And it sounds like, oh, listen to you, bleeding heart. I am a bleeding heart when it comes to them because I get to sit here gay and free because they didn't get to sit there. They had to go overseas and lay in sand and shoot people and kick down doors and all that other stuff. That's tough shit. That's hard. So kudos to them.
And Veterans Day, we have a parade that's lineup starts at 10:30.
You don't think that there's too many people that are going to be on Main Street that it's going to ruin this beautiful paving job that was just done, do you? This skim coat that was put on that only goes down to Key Bank, and then the divots and everything past Key Bank get to stay like that because the taxpayers paid for this little piece and the rest of the money, God knows where it went. Now I'm going to piss people off. Because they're like, gee, what are you talking about? It looks beautiful. Yeah, the skim coat that's here looks beautiful, but what about all the hot or cold patches that are out there that the minute it snows and the plow goes over, we're going to have the potholes again? What about that?
When's the last time, please answer this question.
City Council.
When's the last time that you have driven past Bamboo Gardens heading towards Southbury Cumbies?
Yesterday.
Unbelievable.
It's funny because I have a truck and I lifted my truck. So I have, look at G, he thinks he's a badass in this truck. He must be overcompensating for a small penis. Guess what? I got a big truck because I got to off-road on Main Street. Okay? When you're coming down Hill Street, Barrytown Road is in great shape. And then you see the line where Barrytown and Barry City hit, and guess what happens? I got to steer my truck around the potholes because God help the day that my axle gets fucked up because of a hole in Barry City. I will be at the city council saying, who's paying for the fucking repairs? Okay? So, yeah, we did a beautiful skim coat here on back. We couldn't even go all the way to the curb. We only did the center part, but we had to close the road for days. And what about everything else? What about everywhere else? You know, I spoke to a city councilman a couple of years ago. I ran into them, and they'll know who they are. I'm not going to say their name, but I ran into them in Price Chopper, and they came over and they said, gee, and they gave me a hug. How the fuck have you been? I haven't seen you in a long time. I'm like, hey, buddy, how are you? This and that. I says, I hear you're on the city council. I have a quick question for you. Is anybody going to fix Prospect? Anybody? Because Prospect coming down the hill is a fucking nightmare. And his answer was, well, you know, the federal and the funding and the this. And I looked at them and I says, really? You keep raising Barry City taxes to improve the roads and the streets and the infrastructure. And where's that money? Because they're not improving anything. So this year we got a little skim coat on Main Street. Bully, that should hold us for a couple of years. Sorry, City Council, I'm calling it like it is, and you don't want me to come down to a City Council meeting because I'll call it out.
No, please don't.
I have a lot of respect for people like Tom Lozon.
You're busy that day.
A lot of respect. I'm always busy on that day. I have a lot of respect for Tom Lozon. He has done so much for this community in so many ways, and a lot of people disagree with me. A lot of people agree. I don't care. Everybody's got an opinion. My opinion is Tom Lozon, thumbs up. But my question to the city council is, when are we going to stop the bullshit things like, oh, my God, we shouldn't fly a flag, or we should fly a flag, or
Too many.
Or should we fart in public? Should we make sure we have toilets that people can fart in the corners? Why don't we get rid of those little insignificant topics that literally are unimportant in our life other than we want to show respect to the country by hanging a fucking flag? And why don't we say, hey, here's the money. Let's not fuck up G's truck. Let's fix that hole. I mean, you had a whole thing going to naming potholes.
Yes.
How pathetic. The city council should hear that and say, wow.
Well, did Town of Berlin, did you see that huge gargantuan one?
What'd they name that? You gave it a name.
God, was it Fred Flintstone?
I don't know. It was.
Shit. I can't remember, but it was a great name.
And then I drive around to all these other. I went to Hardwick. My God, they paved the entire Hardwick. It's beautiful roads. It's like we'll be driving. Jed and I went down. We were down in Manhattan, which even the Manhattan roads in New York are better than the roads here in Barry City. We were down there and we drove back. We went through Connecticut. We went through Massachusetts. You know, all the normal stuff. And then we get into where we hit the Barry City limit. And Jed says, oh, we're back in Barry. You can tell by the roads. That's pretty sad.
Listen, now that we know that you have opinions.
No.
What's briefly, and I don't want to harp on this too much because we're running a little snug on time. But what are your thoughts about the second that we turn the calendar from October 31st to November 1st. We go right from the Halloween masks right to Santa Claus.
Shame. Go from Halloween masks to Christmas. My God, they had Christmas in the stores before Halloween. And now, Starbucks, bully for you. You're sitting there, you're going to give us new fucking cups for the holidays. How about you learn how to make a white mocha the right way? Instead of every single Starbucks I go to, the white mocha tastes different. And I usually get nauseous afterwards because it makes me not feel good, okay? So I stopped drinking Starbucks. Okay, this is the most important thing is holiday cups. This is the most important thing. Let's go. We skipped Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was a holiday. Thanksgiving used to mean something to families. Okay, people didn't know the meaning of Thanksgiving. They just knew that that's a good time for us all to get together and watch a parade or go to the parade.
Football.
And then have food and this and that.
Football.
And football. Okay, that was a family time. Now, fuck that. We got to go right to Christmas. Let's get Christmas, and let's spend all our fucking money on Christmas, okay? And then let's be poor in January, February. I always used to say to Jed, February used to be the worst month for us because we had to catch up on all the fucking bills that we put aside so that we could be good parents and give great presents and all that stuff. Now, my answer is grandkids get presents, one each. Kids, fuck off. I took care of you for 20 some odd years. You're on your own. Buy your own damn present. Okay? And guess what? In February, Jed and I are not broke because it's not about that. So can we just enjoy one holiday at a time? And do me a favor. What's that flavor, that fall flavor that makes me gag just knowing it, let alone smelling it?
Pumpkin spice.
Oh, Jesus Christ. What is with pumpkin spice? Please tell me your thoughts on pumpkin spice.
I had a great guy in here who just has an apothecary of herbs and spices and was a Balance guy. Amazing. Amazing guest. Great podcast episode. If you want to hear something fascinating, this guy's he's amazing. He made up and I love this guy. He made up these little packets and was giving them out to everyone. I'm showing it on the camera right now. And you can add this to your coffee or you can sprinkle it on your cereal. I'm looking at your blood pressure.
I'm like, is this like, are there Quaaludes involved? Do we have mushrooms in that packet?
It's actually, I think it's quite delicious, and I'll explain in a second. It says right here on the envelope, you can enjoy fall's favorite beverage, pumpkin spice latte, with an understanding of its medicinal properties.
Oh, Jiminy Crickets.
When the fall, your blood pressure right now, are you going to be okay? When the fall weather turns chilly and the grass sparkles with the damp morning dew.
Oh, gee.
These spices work to keep your body warm, dry, and aid in the digestion of foods so that you may better indulge in the sweetness of the fleshy fruits of the harvest.
I'm not on the camera, am I?
Ginger, hold on.
Oh,
ginger, cinnamon, cloves, nutmeg, allspice, and there's a couple others in here. I can't, my eyesight is so horrible.
And you know what? And that could be good because antioxidants and all those things, the ginger, the cinnamon, all those things are good for your body, and that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. But please, it's if it's so good for you, why would we only have it in the fall? Look at you. Oh, wait, let me take a gummy out and give it to you also. It does the same thing. Do you feel better?
Cinnamon's good for the blood pressure,
Cinnamon
though.
is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
Here's the thing. Truthfully, I love the flavor of this.
Yeah.
What I have a problem with, and I think what you and I both have a problem with is, it's all over everything.
Mm-hmm.
We go to the store, all the creamers, pumpkin spice, in August.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like we've got pumpkin spice air fresheners.
Ugh. Pumpkin spice candles. Pumpkin spice spray to put throughout your house that you can spray. So when, you walk into someone's house and they say, well, I like it to smell like I was baking a pie or whatever. Come on. Then bake a fucking pie.
When I go to the bathroom.
Oh, God. Does it smell like pumpkin spice when you leave?
It smells like pumpkin spice and something else. I don't want to combine the two. I would rather have one 100% or the other 100%.
Well, people ask me, what do flowers smell like to you? And I say, they smell like shit. And they said, what? I said, yeah, because everybody sprays it in their bathroom after they take a dump, so now I've got floral shit. Whatever happened to Lysol? The chemical smell that when you sprayed it, you knew the air was clean because it smelled like fucking chemicals. Now it smells like, look at that white rose shit. Pumpkin spice shit. But I will, I want to mention something, okay? Totally off book, but part of.
Wait a minute. Are you changing the course of this discussion midstream?
Yes. Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. Totally off book. One of the things I was talking about is how we need to understand each other and come together to make solutions and this and that. And part of that is evolving.
I like people that have pumpkin spice, that love pumpkin spice.
I understand that. What I'm trying to
Sherilyn
say
does.
is,
She's got it in the fridge.
well, Shirley's a horse of a different feather. We could talk about that another day.
Amen.
But what I'm trying to say is people evolve, okay?
Right.
My oldest son, Anthony, okay, because I have 4 kids. My oldest is Anthony. And I've lectured him because Anthony's had problems on and off with drugs and stuff like that. And now God bless him, he's really cleaned up his act. He's gotten 2 promotions at work. He's working hard. He's got kids. He's married. He just got married. A great kid. And when he was going through his phases, like most teenagers do, I used to lecture him about drugs. Stop smoking pot. It's not good for you. Stop this. Stop that. I always lectured. But part of being an adult, an intelligent adult, is evolving and seeing different avenues and different ways to do things other than your own. I think that's important, to know that there's more than one road and yours isn't always the right one. And I was talking to my doctor, and he put me on blood pressure medicine and this and that. And he says, you know what I think you need to try, G? I says, what? He says, buy yourself some gummies. He says, take like a 5 milligram or a 10 milligram gummy and see how that affects you. And I said, okay, fine. And now Anthony will come over, and I'm like, oh, I just had a gummy, so and he's like, Dad, what are you you're the one who lectured me. You told me about this and that. And now you're fucking doing gummies. You're putting water-soluble drops in your drinks so that you can get high and this and that. What the fuck? And I'm like, you know what, Anthony? It's called evolving. It's called seeing different sides and learning what works and what doesn't work for you. Okay? So the same thing with this pumpkin spice and this air fresheners and stuff. Hey, if you like it and it works for you, great. Just keep the fucking shit away from me, because I haven't evolved that much yet. Okay? I'm not evolved yet. And I can't look at Christmas stuff before Halloween, because it's all become all material. It's all about money.
Do you know, I was at the dollar store, and just before Halloween, they had all their Christmas stuff out, and I said something to the clerk, and she's like, all that Christmas stuff, that's been in a storage container out back.
Yeah.
Since July.
Yeah, we have to make room. We have to put it out. You go into a Hobby Lobby, a Lobby Hobby, or whatever the hell that store's called. You walk in there, 99% of it's Christmas, and that was long before Thanksgiving and Halloween. You know,
They actually don't do Halloween stuff up there.
no, it's not religious enough. Don't get me started on religion. That's a whole different topic for another day.
World news this morning.
Uh-oh.
The mystery of the black balls
Yes, the black balls in the water.
that washed up on some of Sydney's most iconic beaches last month has now been solved. The mystery has been solved.
It's disgusting.
No one knew what it was. And
And yet we're swimming in it.
I'm not really sure what it is, but fuck it. It's a beautiful sunny day. Let's go swimming.
Swim in it.
Let's see.
It's like you flushing.
Australian beachgoers were turned away from several beaches after lifeguards spotted thousands of these black spheres promoting closures and cleanup efforts.
Yep.
A team of scientists at the University of South Wales has revealed the black balls, initially thought to be made of tar, were actually
Here it comes.
mini.
Sit back, people.
Sit down for this one.
This one, when I read it, I said, oh, God. Why can't we have that here?
They're called fatbergs.
It's not funny, but it's funny.
Fatbergs.
Which consists of...
Not an iceberg,
No.
but a fatberg,
Which
consists of
Go.
primarily human feces, methamphetamine. I like this one. Human hair. Fatty acids, from all the McDonald's
Yeah,
and all
of
the
course.
stuff that we're shitting out. Food waste, and hundreds of other vile and befuddling substances.
Befuddling. And it's not funny. It's actually quite disgusting and serious, but oh my God, people.
The associate professor there at the University of New South Wales is quoted saying, "They smell absolutely disgusting. They smell worse than anything that you've ever smelled." Oh, God. Shocker. God.
And people are fighting over an election when these things are happening? Come on.
We've got fatbergs.
Yeah.
You ever seen a fatberg off Long Island?
No.
Okay.
No. I've seen oil off Long Island. I've seen sludge, but never feces and human hair and
Congealed masses of fats, oils, and greasy molecules that can accumulate in sewage.
yeah, the word congealed itself scares you.
Please. Yes, it does.
Because now I'm getting visuals, and I need a gummy.
The coastline of Sydney, Australia is beautiful, but not going to be swimming anytime soon over there.
No, I pass. Hard pass.
My God.
Yeah.
One of the fatbergs this can't be true. Clogged up a city sewer for several weeks. Estimated to be, it's here in the story.
I know.
330 tons.
That's a lot of shit. Oh, my God.
Consisting of medications, hair, human feces, oils, fats, and recreational drugs.
Well, and it's funny because I read that last night, and what did I text you? Hysterically disgusting.
Can we find a way to take these out of the water, dry them up, and then maybe
Throw that at people?
no, maybe turn them into like a renewable fossil fuel.
Why not? We can do everything else.
We'll have a fatberg furnace.
Your house is going to stink, but you'll be warm. Oh my God. It just shows that there's always something in the news. There's always something.
Always.
And if you're going to get upset about it, stop looking at the news.
Sure.
You know, there are people that literally shut off
Yeah.
the news and never watch it. Jed being one of them. Jed gets his news from, unfortunately, hearing me tell him things are going on, and then he goes and reads about it.
Yeah.
But I'll say, did you hear this? He's like, no, I don't care. You know, it doesn't directly affect my life.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I just got a text. JD, why are you not talking about the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree that's on its way to New York City right now? Why? Why are we not talking about
And you know what? Whoever that is, good for them, because they're right. It's so ingrained in us to pick on all the negative shit and all the bad shit. And meanwhile, the tree that they killed, murdered, cut down, that was quite happy growing, a living organism, has been cut down, and we're bringing it to Times Square.
There are people right now that are taking me seriously.
There are people right now
JD,
that are
you
condemning us.
Yes. JD, are you serious?
Yeah. Are you
Do have
are
a
you
problem
really
with-
talking about trees and that we cut it down?
Do you really have a problem with trees being cut down?
Meantime, you can't cut trees down in your yard unless you get permission because they're trying to save the planet. But let's put a live tree, let's kill it and put it out for display. There, see how I took such a festive thing and turned it into a negative?
Before we go,
Yes.
thoughts, opinions, feelings about Peanut the squirrel.
Well, J.D. Vance says, oh, Peanut the squirrel. First of all, I used to watch that guy with Peanut the squirrel on YouTube. Okay? Very entertaining. And you know what? Why did the squirrel bite
It didn't.
But if it did, why? Because it was happy at its home, not bothering anybody, entertaining us all on YouTube with the squirrel that would jump onto the guy's shoulder and this and that. And they took
For
it away.
7 years.
Yeah,
It
and then
never
they took
bit
it
him.
away, so it got scared and it bit. Okay, I think what we should do is we should put to sleep anybody that bites back. Why just a squirrel? You know what I mean? If you're going to kill, then you should be killed. How's that for a controversial statement?
Did you just say that?
I did. I say what comes to my mind, and I'm sorry if people don't agree, but a squirrel? Really?
All right, here's here's the owner of Peanut the squirrel. We're going to play it here for you. This has exploded all over social media. TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. This has become a
Thing. It's
this
a thing.
has exploded globally.
Yeah, it's a thing.
This story. Here it is. I'm going to play it for you. I saw this yesterday. Shared it up on Facebook. Here we go.
The officer opened the back of the toilet to see if I was hiding something in there. That's to find a squirrel. Let somebody come in here and do this to your house and keep it like this. I actually have broken soap bottles on the ground. I have a stain on my ground. This is to find a squirrel. This is to find a squirrel. This is to find a squirrel. You see that? That's that. See that? Do you see this, guys? You see that? You want to tell me that that's acceptable? This is the destruction that these people left in my house. So if you guys want to explain to me how this wouldn't devastate you, I have never been in trouble with the law whatsoever. There's another suitcase that came out of the closet. I don't have anything else to show you guys because the mind-blowing thing is the only places that they fucking destroyed was my room.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They literally went in there like SWAT teams.
Yeah.
Armored vehicles,
SWAT to get a squirrel.
guns,
Yep. Guns a blazing.
like I'm envisioning them dropping out of helicopters here and landing on this guy's Clark Griswold at the end of Christmas vacation.
Yes.
Kicking in doors and windows to go in and remove this violent creature.
So violent.
The guy rescued a baby squirrel when its mother was run over by a car.
Yeah.
And he's had it for 7 years.
Yeah.
He domesticated it almost immediately.
Yep.
From birth, and this squirrel, Peanut, friendly.
Mm-hmm. Well, it got scared. It bit.
Well, that's
Dogs do that.
Yeah, of course. But
Dogs do that. You know,
it's never bitten anyone in 7 years.
But that's what I'm saying. But then you go and you move fast to a dog. You move fast to an animal. I mean, they're animals, for Christ's sake. You know, they're going to defend themselves just like we defend ourselves if somebody were to violate us. Okay? And yet this is a thing. Because this is the most important thing we need to worry about. Come on. Come on.
Don't forget this weekend that Veterans Day is Monday.
Yes.
On the 11th, the parade lineup 10:30, Barry Auditorium. If you're a veteran from any war, active duty or not, please, uniform or not, just be there. Be part of the parade. Be part of the ceremony afterwards at 11 o'clock, Barry City Park. Be part of the lunch served up afterwards at the American Legion Post 10 right here in the Granite
Be part
City.
of the celebration.
Yes.
Of people that have done for us what we couldn't do.
Right. And when that flag passes in front of you, if
Salute
you're
it.
watching the parade,
Yes.
salute it. Put your right hand on your heart. Remove your hat.
Yeah. Are we going to hang that flag up here? Have they done it yet?
Of course. No, they're going to.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know if that was going to be another topic for a meeting.
Do you remember when we had a city councilor who felt that she was threatened
Yes. Yes.
by the American flag?
Yeah. Yep.
And that we had too many flags?
Yeah. Is there ever too many?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
If you love your country, just respect.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, you have to respect. That's if anybody takes any word from today of all our joking and all our ranting, because I ranted and all my rants were opinions.
Do you feel better now?
No. I'll feel better in 4 years, hopefully.
Okay. Do you want to go up to Starbucks right now and get a cappuccino on National Cappuccino Day with a holiday cup?
I want to try to be as clear as possible. No. Is that clear enough?
Enjoy the weekend, everyone.
Mic drop.
Be safe. We'll catch you soon. Thank you, G. God, I love you.
Peace out.